15th century Spain.
Skip it. No story. Just tell him about the plan.
I want to know the story.
There's treasure. It'll be in New York tomorrow. That's plenty.
The first trailer for Play Dirty has officially dropped, and it's giving audiences a peek at what to expect from this new Mark Wahlberg-led heist thriller. The movie is directed by Shane Black, who hasn't helmed a project since 2018's The Predator, so this feels like a big return for him. For Wahlberg, it's another chance to show off his action star chops after the not-so-great reception earlier this year to Flight Risk. With Play Dirty heading to Prime Video, it's already positioned as one of the streamer's big releases for the fall. The movie itself packs a solid cast around Wahlberg. Alongside him are Lakeith Stanfield, Rosa Salazar, Keegan-Michael Key, Nat Wolff, and Thomas Jane. Wahlberg takes on the role of Parker, a tough, cold-blooded thief who ends up getting caught up in a massive heist that changes everything. According to the trailer, the crew discovers a relic worth billions, and this becomes the big target they're after. But of course, things don't stay simple, and Parker and his team find themselves running headfirst into trouble with the New York mob. The trailer teases what's in store ahead of its October 1st streaming release. It sets the tone right away as gritty, dark, and violent, which is very much in line with Shane Black's past work. The official log line for the movie makes it clear Parker and his skilled crew, which includes Grofield and Zen, try to pull off the biggest heist of their lives. But while chasing the score, they're forced to take on not only the mob, but also some wealthy, powerful figures with armies of their own. That sets up the promise of a fast-paced caper with a bunch of twists and betrayals. What stands out about this trailer is that it feels like Black stepping back into his comfort zone. He's known for combining sharp, witty banter with bursts of brutal violence. If you've seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang or The Nice Guys, you know how distinct his style is. Even Iron Man 3, which remains his most commercially successful film, had his signature tone sprinkled through the superhero spectacle. The trailer even hints at another Shane Black trademark, setting at least part of the movie around Christmas. It's almost become his personal stamp, and Play Dirty looks to keep that tradition alive. One thing the footage makes clear is just how ruthless Wahlberg's Parker is. This isn't a slick, charming thief in the vein of George Clooney's Danny Ocean. Parker doesn't hesitate to shoot people point blank if they're in his way. He's cold, direct, and lethal, which immediately creates a different energy than the kind of stylish, flashy heist films audiences might be used to. That raw violence is part of why Play Dirty has earned an R rating. The film is tagged for strong violence, harsh language, sexual content, and nudity, so Prime Video clearly isn't holding back in letting Black lean into the grit. Although the Mafia is positioned as the main thread in the story, the trailer hints at bigger forces too. At one point, it shows Parker and his team going up against what looks like a billionaire-backed army. This sets up some larger-than-life action sequences with plenty of explosions, shootouts, and chase scenes. From the looks of it, Amazon has handed Shane Black a hefty budget, and he's using it to stage some very bombastic moments. That's where the movie will either win audiences over or lose them, depending on how polished those set pieces feel. For both Wahlberg and Black, Play Dirty could be an important chance at redemption. Wahlberg's last couple of films haven't exactly wowed critics or audiences, with Flight Risk struggling and The Union failing to make much of an impression in 2024. Black, on the other hand, hasn't directed anything since The Predator, which was largely seen as a disappointment. Play Dirty offers them both a shot at reminding people why they became big names in the first place. If it hits the right balance of action and humor, it could re-establish Black as a reliable name in the genre. Fans who loved The Nice Guys might find themselves intrigued here because Play Dirty carries a similar mix of snappy dialogue and oddball characters, even though it's leaning more heavily into large-scale action. The Nice Guys didn't do huge box office numbers at the time, but has since gained a cult following, with people still calling for a sequel. That lingering goodwill toward Black could give Play Dirty a warmer reception, especially since he seems to be working with material that plays to his strengths. Still, there are some concerns already popping up. While the trailer shows off big action moments, some of the effects don't look especially polished. A few sequences appear stitched together with computer graphics that feel cheap or distracting, which stands out even more in an era when audiences are quick to call out bad CGI. The stunt work also comes across as a little clunky in spots, which could break immersion if the movie leans too hard on them. For a director like Black, who made his name on sharp storytelling rather than spectacle, it's a little surprising to see him moving into blockbuster territory that looks this over the top. Another point of criticism from fans is the handling of gunplay in the trailer. At around the 1:43 mark, there's a scene where Wahlberg's Parker fires a shot that doesn't line up at all with where the bullet supposedly lands. He's aiming at the ground, yet someone off to the side takes the hit. For some viewers, that kind of sloppy detail suggests either laziness or the possibility of a twist, that maybe what we're seeing isn't exactly real. Some fans are even speculating that the characters are actors within the story, or that the whole thing might be a setup. Whether that's intentional misdirection or just an editing mistake, it's already fueling discussion online. There's also some debate about why the movie is even using the Parker character in the first place. Play Dirty is loosely based on Donald E. Westlake's novels, but longtime fans of the books are questioning the changes being made. When Westlake was alive, he famously never allowed filmmakers to use the Parker name in adaptations, which is why past movies used other names for essentially the same character. Now that Play Dirty is directly calling Wahlberg's thief Parker, some are wondering if it even feels true to the source material. Critics of the trailer argue that if Black was going to change so much anyway, he might as well have created an original story instead of loosely adapting something recognizable. Despite those concerns, Play Dirty still looks like it could be a fun, pulpy ride. The combination of Wahlberg and Stanfield is promising, and Rosa Salazar always brings an edge to her roles. If the movie leans into its heist thriller roots and delivers clever twists, it could stand out from the sea of forgettable action titles on streaming. The mafia element, the Christmas setting, and the promise of a relic worth billions all set the stage for a story that feels both familiar and fresh. So, what does the trailer ultimately say about the movie? It shows that Shane Black is diving back into the kind of territory people associate him with: darkly funny, violent, and just a little bit quirky. It makes clear that Wahlberg's Parker isn't meant to be likable in the traditional sense, but rather someone whose ruthlessness drives the story forward. It also signals that Prime Video is willing to give Black the resources to try something big, even if the results end up a little messy. Play Dirty, then, has the potential to be one of those movies that divides audiences. Some will appreciate its grit, its boldness, and its willingness to push Parker into anti-hero territory. Others might find it uneven, weighed down by cheap effects or a reliance on violence that overshadows clever storytelling. But that's part of what makes it interesting. It's not playing it safe, and even though it could stumble, it might also surprise people in the best way. With the movie landing on October 1st, there's not long to wait before audiences get to judge for themselves. For Shane Black, it's a big chance to prove he can still deliver that unique blend of action and wit. For Wahlberg, it's an opportunity to show that he can lead a memorable, gritty thriller after some recent misses. And for fans of heist stories, Play Dirty looks like a ride worth taking, flaws and all. Well, that's it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because we'll be covering more updates on this soon and other exciting upcoming movies and series. We'll see you next time.